This may be my first and final word on this subject of Henry Cavill being ousted from the Superman role. This has been a long journey. I've been through all the ups and downs with Warner Brothers. They just can't seem to get it together. I don't know if they'll ever be able to get it together. But this is an open letter to Warner Brothers. I guess they're called Warner Discovery now. Who gives a shit? I mean, I'll still call them Warner Brothers. Your decision to let Henry Cavill go as Superman is a financially sound one, at least in the short term. We all know you just wish to save money. Money you lost by putting out mediocre to downright bad product time and time again, so you'll likely hire some no name actor to don the cape, which is fine. Some unknowns can become knowns based off their talents, but therein lies the challenge. Can you find someone as talented and dedicated as Henry Cavill to take on the task of playing Superman? You will probably have to find someone even better than him just to win back a fraction of the fans you pushed away. Many of us are tired of being disappointed. Our hopes have been dashed one too many times, and we're quite frankly getting sick of it. To me, apathy is worse than hate. At least with hate, you can still get attention. But you have made so many of your hardest of hardcore fans apathetic due to your incompetence. You managed to take the most iconic characters in the world and make them a laughing stock. And this isn't hyperbole. Like, the Marvel fans are laughing at us right now because you keep fumbling the ball. Hardly anyone has faith that you can ever do these characters justice. We were, temporarily given hope in October when you had Henry Cavill announce to the world that he was playing Superman again. You told him to do that. Then, of course, our hope was dashed again. His hope was dashed again, too, less than 2 months later. I, for one, refuse to fall for this anymore. Between the constant rumors, the shufflings, the firings, and off camera shenanigans, like, why haven't you said a word about Ezra Miller or Amber Heard? Like, why are they still around? Why is his movie still coming out? Why is Aquaman 2 still coming out with her in it? Like, that's bullshit. I've had about enough of this universe at this point, at least on film. Like, I still have the comics, a lot of which I haven't read yet. I'm still getting into them, and the animated series, which I always go back and watch because they're amazing. Like, why can't you just take that and use it as a template? You know, why do you always have to try to make up shit or cram so many storylines into one movie? Why can't you just take what's already been established and beloved and translate that into a live action version? Like, why is it so hard for you, Warner Brothers? I refuse to pay to see any more of your films until I know this universe is in competent hands. This could have been a rant, like I could have been yelling and screaming and shit, but I just really wanted to get all my thoughts out in a concise manner. At this point, it may take years for me to come back to your movies. Henry's not just a classic guy, by the way. He's also a nerd's nerd. He often knows about the characters he plays more than the people hired to write the stories. We saw that with The Witcher. That's why he left The Witcher, because they were not servicing the story. They were not following the books. They were deviating like so much so that it felt like Geralt was a guest star in his own show. That's not how the Witcher story should be. He's also a rarity just within Hollywood. He's an actor who actually cares about the projects he's involved in. Like, for him, Superman's not a paycheck. Especially the Superman which he was hoping to play until you axed him. You know, the Superman who's not murderous or brooding. He's the classic hopeful Boy Scout. It was a dream job for him, and you callously dangled it in front of him like a carrot only allowing him 3 movies. The first in which he kills, the second in which he gets killed, and then the third you rushed out to get your Christmas bonuses in 2017. Eventually, you delivered the Snyder Cut. It's albeit begrudgingly. We could tell you didn't really want to put this out because it's capitulating to the fans, right? It's a serviceable replacement product, the Snyder Cut, but it's also an unfinished story. Like you never finished this fucking story. It's a setup for a trilogy of which we will now never see the ending. Then you proceeded to jam him into these movies, these cameos, without showing his face, and we know why that is because his agent, who's got these kind of nefarious practices behind the scenes. Uh, so his face isn't in these cameos, but now you shoved him into Black Adam at the end of Black Adam. So you got us hyped once more. You got us hyped again. So you got our hopes up again. You got his hopes again. We have been waiting since Justice League to see him return, and we finally see him in the costume, and then you come out with the changing of the guard. Your first act is to sack one of your greatest assets. Your universe is off to a great start, Warner Bros. What James Gunn and Peter Safran come up with will have to be phenomenal if it's gonna win back any fans. Like, I mean, you might have some fans still, but a lot of fans are turning away because of this shit. See, I've heard Gunn wants to make Superman younger, like he's just starting out at the Daily Planet, which I don't think anybody was asking for that. Like we could just watch Smallville again if we want to see that, because they covered all that, you know, and even Man of Steel covered that. It's a movie about him just starting out. He starts at the Daily Planet. He meets Lois Lane, Perry White, and everyone. It, he's learned to be Superman. It's like we've seen all this shit already. We want to see Superman in his prime fighting these classic villains and being that hopeful Superman like we know and love. It's just very frustrating that this keeps happening. As a lifelong DC fan, yeah, this whole thing has made me tired. A wise person once said, a cynical man is just a disappointed idealist. And I feel like this is just this is just put me off of the DC movies. I was gonna call myself a former paying customer, but we'll see. Like, I don't know if I'll be paying to see any of these movies from now on. Not until, like I said, I can trust that these characters will be honored the way they deserve.